Hi everyone and welcome to Cooking with Carrie. Today we're doing a recipe that is called Mighty Meatballs. This is one of the recipes my family loves and it's a great one to put in the freezer and I can pull it out for a quick meal. So when I make this recipe, I go big. Rather than doing one meal's worth, I always do at least 4 meals worth. So the amounts that I'm going to put in here are going to seem a little huge, but it's because I'm doing it a recipe times 4. So to start out with this recipe, I'll give you the smaller version and I'll also give you the 4-meal version in the comments below so that you, or the description below, so that you can see the different sizes amounts. So anyway, starting out with 6 pounds of ground hamburger. Now I am blessed to have a sister-in-law who owns a cattle ranch, and so we get our hamburger fresh from there, and that is my preferred way of meat all the time. So I'm gonna dump all these ingredients into this bowl and then we're going to watch me mix it up with my hands. So first thing to add is evaporated milk. You're actually going to add 4 cans of evaporated milk. So that might seem like a lot of evaporated milk, but it's going to be absorbed with the other ingredients we're going to add next. The next thing we're going to add is 2 cups of oatmeal. You can do rolled or instant. I do instant. I save the rolled for when I want to eat oatmeal myself. Next, we're going to add 8 eggs into this. So be patient with me. This is going to take a little bit of time to get them all in. Okay, and here is egg number 8. The one thing I like to do is dry out my eggshells afterwards and put them in a pan in the oven and just sort of dry them out. And then I can add them to my garden. And so it's one way that I reuse my eggshells. I'm gonna just take a break here and go wash my hands. Okay, so the bowl is looking quite interesting and it's gonna get even better. So the next ingredient in this is 1 cup of onion, chopped fine. So I cheat and pull out my freeze-dried onions and add them in like that. So the moisture is also gonna be absorbed up in that. So the next part is our garlic cloves, and I'm using my chopped garlic. It asks for minced. So what I'm going to do is for every 1 teaspoon equals 1 clove of garlic. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. So there's 1. And 2. Next, we're going to add 4 teaspoons. 1 minute here, let me check. 1 teaspoon of pepper and 4 teaspoons of chili pepper. So chili powder, I should say. So let's do our 1 teaspoon of pepper. I know I'm acting like I haven't made this recipe before, but I actually do it quite frequently. Well, okay. And 4 teaspoons of chili powder. Okay, and the last ingredient that I'm going to add in is onion soup mix. And you actually need to put in 4 packets of that. And there is number 4. Okay, I'm gonna clear out my space here because now I'm gonna get downright dirty. Okay, so now you're gonna take all that and begin to use your hand to mix it all together. And yes, it's messy. I try to leave one hand out so that I can do stuff with it. But I just constantly use that hand to mix all of that together. Okay, so this is it's all mixed up. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it. See how it's good and mixed? What we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it for a few minutes so that the oatmeal and the onions can absorb some of that moisture. So we need it to be a little bit more firm so we can roll it into balls. Because the next step we're gonna do is we're going to roll this together in balls and we're gonna cook it on a cookie sheet. So we'll let it sit for, let's give it 5-10 minutes to sit until it looks a little bit firmer. So I used to use my hands and roll these up, and it would be an awful mess until I learned to use my cookie scoop. It is perfect. It puts them in the right amount of size, and it is completely mess-free. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing them 5 across and as full as I can put it down. And then with that, you're going to take them and put them in the oven and cook them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. Once those have been cooked, you pull them out, let them cool, and then I put them in individual Ziploc bags for the right amount of number I need for our family. So how many meatballs each of your family members eats, put that much into individual bag, and you can just grab that freezer bag, add the sauce, and put it in the oven, and you're good to go. So look at how easy this is. I can actually talk and work at the same time. So this is gonna take me a little while to get all these pans filled up, but that is how you do meatballs. So I will show you what they look like at the end, and then how we put them in Ziploc bags. Okay, so we are on to pan number 4, and we have 35 per meatball on the other 3 trays. And I think it's gonna be a little bit more than this last pan. So needless to say, it's going to take a little while for these to cook, but we'll get it all done, and we'll have all these meals done in advance. Okay, and there are those meatballs cooking away. They need about another 5 minutes, and they are done. Ooh, hear them sizzle. So all these meatballs have been cooked and they have cooled, and it's time to package them up into the individual Ziploc bags for meals. So 140 meatballs turns into, how many is that? 6 meals for us. 2 of 25 and 1 of 20 when there's less of us here. So it's been about 3 months since we did the meatball recipe, and now I've had a crazy busy day, and I need to find a quick meal to throw in the oven and have dinner ready for Trevor and the kids. So I've taken a 9x9 pan and lined it with, you guessed it, parchment paper. I'm taking those meatballs, I'm going to put them in that 9x9, just dump it out like that. 1 cup of sugar, So it's been a crazy busy day, and I need a quick meal to put in the oven for Trevor and the kids. So I've taken a 9x9 pan, I've put the meatballs inside of it, lined it with parchment paper, of course, taken 1 cup of ketchup, then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of garlic, and also 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke. Okay, so now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 1 teaspoon of crushed garlic. It says 1 clove, and I always just usually count 1 teaspoon for 1 clove. Then liquid smoke. Now this is a little bit harder to find in some stores. Our local Sobeys store sells this, and that's where I get mine from. Put that all in together. Then I'm going to mix it all up. And pour it on top of the meatballs. Next, I'm going to put this in the oven, cook it at 350 degrees for 25 minutes, and dinner is served. I usually put potatoes or rice on the side for this dish, and then a cooked vegetable as well, or a salad. And there's your meal for you. Meatballs. Mighty Meatballs is what it's called in my cookbook. And the meatballs are all done.